Hello students. Today let us see a new topic, that is, why do we fall ill? So what is health? Being physically, mentally and socially well is known as being healthy. What are the different issues that matter? Physical well-being means being without any diseases of any kind of injury. Mental well-being means living a life without any tension or stress. Social well-being means living in a clean place and with good people. What are the conditions essential for good health? Balanced diet, peaceful environment, good economic conditions, social equality and harmony, and clean environment and good people. Distinctions between healthy and disease free. Diseases means distributed ease. A person might be disease free, but he may not be healthy because of many tensions. A disease free person may be unhealthy, but a healthy person will be disease free. Disease and its causes. Disease means dis-ease, that is, when we do not feel comfortable. Disease, it is a state of malfunctioning of the body or some parts of it with specific symptoms. Next is types of diseases. Disease can be broadly classified into two different ways, based on the time for which the disease lasts and based on the cause of the disease. Based on the time for which the disease lasts. Diseases are two types, acute disease and chronic disease. Acute disease. Some diseases last for only very short periods of time, and these are called acute diseases. Example, common cold lasts only a few days. Chronic disease. Other ailments can last for a long time, even as much as a lifetime, and are called chronic diseases. Example, elephantiasis, which is very common in some parts of India. Based on the cause of the disease. Diseases are two types, infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. Infectious diseases. Diseases where microbes are the immediate causes are called infectious diseases. They spread from one person to another. Example, influenza, amoebic dysentery, etc. Non-infectious diseases. They are not caused by infectious agents, that is microorganisms. It is caused due to internal non-infectious reason. Example, cancer, blood pressure, etc. Infectious diseases. This is caused by infectious agents. Infectious agents, organisms that can cause diseases, are of different categories: virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoan and worm. First one is virus. Common examples of diseases caused by viruses are the common cold, influenza, dengue fever and AIDS. Bacteria. Example, typhoid fever, cholera, tuberculosis and anthrax. Fungi. Example, skin infection. Protozoan. Example, malaria and kala-azar. Next is worm. Example, intestinal worm infections or elephantiasis. Next is principles of treatment. It would appear that there are two ways to treat. One would be to reduce the effects of the disease and the other to kill the cause of the disease. For the first, we can provide treatment that will reduce the symptoms. The symptoms are usually because of inflammation. For example, we can take medicines that bring down fever, reduce pain or loose motions. We can take bed rest so that we can conserve our energy. This will enable us to have more of it available to focus on healing. But this kind of symptom directed treatment by itself will not make the infecting microbe go away and the disease will not be cured. For that, we need to be able to kill off the microbes. How do we kill microbes? One way is to use medicines that kill microbes. Antibiotics should block the pathway of microbes, but should not block the pathway of the host. Next is principles of prevention. There are two ways, one general and one specific to each disease. The general ways of preventing infections mostly relate to preventing exposure. If we look at the means of their spreading, we can get some easy answers. Specific infections are for airborne microbes. We can prevent exposure by providing living conditions that are not overcrowded. For waterborne microbes, we can prevent exposure by providing safe drinking water. This can be done by treating the water to kill any microbial contamination. For vector-borne infections, we can provide clean environments. This would not, for example, allow mosquito breeding. In other words, public hygiene is one basic key to the prevention of infectious diseases. These are the general ways of preventing infections. What are the specific ways? If you had smallpox once, there was no chance of suffering from it again. So, having the disease once was a means of preventing subsequent attacks of the same disease. This happens because when the immune system first sees an infectious microbe, it responds against it and then remembers it specifically. So the next time that particular microbe or its close relatives enter the body, the immune system responds with even greater vigor. This eliminates the infection even more quickly than the first time around. This is the basis of the principle of vaccination has come into our usage. We can now see that as a general principle, we can fool the immune system into developing a memory for a particular infection by putting something that mimics the microbe we want to vaccinate against into the body. This does not actually cause the disease, but this would prevent any subsequent exposure to the infected microbe from turning into actual disease. Such vaccines are now available for preventing a whole range of infectious diseases and provide a disease-specific means of prevention. There are vaccines against tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio, and many others. Some hepatitis viruses, which cause jaundice, are transmitted through water. There is a vaccine for one of them, hepatitis A, in the market, but the majority of children in many parts of India are already immune to hepatitis A by the time they are 5 years old. This is because they are exposed to the virus through water. Summary: what you have learned: health is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. Diseases are classified as acute or chronic depending on their duration. Disease may be due to infectious or non-infectious causes. The category to which a disease-causing organism belongs decides the types of treatment. Infectious agents are spread through air, water, physical contact or vectors. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Bye friends.